Gotham, a city of shadows and light, a city where every corner holds a story. Stories of triumph, of failure, of loss, and redemption. Tonight, I want to talk about failure, about falling, because in the end, it's not about how we fall, it's about why we rise. I wasn't born into this armor. I wasn't born a hero. Like all of you, I started as someone searching for purpose, searching for strength, searching for answers. And in that search, I fell over and over again. Failure isn't just a moment, it's a mirror. It shows us who we really are. It strips away the masks, the illusions, the lies we tell ourselves. When I lost my parents, when I felt the weight of their absence, I asked myself, why? Why did this happen? Why did I fall into this pit of grief and anger? Falling teaches us. It teaches us resilience. It teaches us humility. It teaches us the value of standing up, of fighting back, of moving forward even when the odds are stacked against us. When I was a boy, I fell into a dark, cold pit, the kind of place that swallows you whole. That's where I first encountered fear. It's where I learned what it means to feel powerless. But it's also where I learned something else. I learned that fear, as crippling as it can be, is not the enemy. Fear is a teacher. It's a reminder of what's at stake, of what you stand to lose if you don't keep fighting. So, why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. So we can understand the strength it takes to rise. So we can appreciate the light when we finally step out of the darkness. Look at this city. Gotham is no stranger to falling. It's fallen into corruption, into fear, into chaos. But every time, it has risen. Not because of me, not because of Batman, but because of the people, because of the fire that burns within each and every one of them. The fire that says, I will not give up. I will not give in. That fire exists in you too. It's there when you face a challenge, when you're pushed to your limits, when you think you've got nothing left to give. It's there when the world feels like it's crashing down around you, and it's that fire that will help you rise. I've made mistakes, more than I care to count. I've fallen in ways that I thought I'd never recover from. I've let people down, people I cared about, people who believed in me. But even in my darkest moments, I found a reason to stand up, a reason to keep going. Sometimes that reason was justice. Sometimes it was hope. And sometimes it was just the knowledge that someone, somewhere, needed me to try. Because it's in the falling that we discover who we really are. It's in the falling that we find our strength, our purpose, our resilience. It's in the falling that we leer. The answer wasn't immediate. It rarely is. But eventually I realized we fall because the ground teaches us. It shows us the cracks in our armor, the places we're weakest. And if we're brave enough to face those cracks, to mend them, to grow stronger, we rise higher than before. Every failure, every fall, every bruise and scar, they're not marks of shame. They're reminders that we tried, that we dared to reach for something greater. And even if we didn't succeed that time, we learned. And that learning, that's the foundation of every rise. Do you know what separates those who make a difference from those who don't? It's not strength, it's not intelligence, it's resilience. The willingness to stand up, dust yourself off, and say, I'm not done yet. Some of you might feel like you're at the bottom of your own pit. Maybe it's a loss, a failure, a betrayal. Maybe it feels like the darkness is closing in, and there's no way out. Please, take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you. So all we ask from you is to support the channel by purchasing your special Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Please enjoy the rest of the video. Life doesn't owe us perfection. No, it's messy, unpredictable, and unrelenting. Every one of us has scars, visible or hidden. Each mark tells a story of a moment where we thought we couldn't endure, but we did. Think back to those times. Remember the pain, the doubt, the fear. And remember this: you're still here. I've faced more than my share of darkness, betrayals, losses, times when hope seemed like a luxury I couldn't afford. But in every shadow, there's light. Sometimes it's just a flicker, barely enough to see by. But it's there, waiting for you to reach out, to grasp it, to make it grow. Gotham, a city of chaos, a city of second chances. And like this city, we're all built on contradictions, strength and fragility, hope and despair. But those contradictions are not weaknesses. They're reminders of our humanity, of our potential. Falling isn't failure. It's part of the process. It's a chance to learn, to adapt, to grow stronger. Each fall teaches you resilience. Each setback builds resolve. And when you rise, when you truly rise, it's not just for yourself. It's for everyone who's watching, everyone who's counting on you, everyone who needs to see that it's possible. I've seen the worst this world has to offer. I've faced monsters, both in the shadows and within myself. But I've also seen courage, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. A single act of kindness, a moment of sacrifice, a refusal to give in. That's what defines us. Not the fall, the climb. You're stronger than you think. You're more capable than you've been led to believe. And every time you rise, you become a beacon for someone else. Your story becomes their light. Your perseverance becomes their guide. Why do we fall? It's to remind ourselves what we're made of. To prove that no matter how heavy the burden, how steep the climb, we have what it takes to rise again. And not just rise, soar. But let me tell you this: the pit isn't your prison. It's your forge. It's where you're tempered, where you find out what you're truly made of. Every time I fell, I thought it was the end, but it wasn't. It was a beginning. Falling taught me that pain is a teacher, that loss is a motivator, that failure is a foundation. You don't build towers of greatness without first laying stones of struggle. So, why do we fall? To learn how to rise, to understand the value of standing tall, to appreciate the strength it takes to keep going when the world wants you to stop. You, yes, you have the power to rise. You have the power to take every failure, every setback, every moment of doubt, and turn it into fuel. Fuel for your fire. You are not your failures. You are the strength you summon to overcome them. It's not the fall that defines us. It's what we do after. So, stand up, rise, become the hero of your own story. Because the world needs you, Gotham needs you, and most importantly, you need you. Remember, it's not about why we fall, it's about why we rise.